Pep Guardiola. You either love him or hate him.
He's the greatest ever manager that's ever been in the Premier League.
Can he be considered the best coach ever? Looking at the numbers, one would say yes. Looking at all the rest,
it's exactly the opposite.
I'll let you decide. I mean, if we're talking about the greatest ever, I've got to say, Pep Guardiola spent a lot of money, yes, influenced football, plays a different way. His influence on the game is far greater than Jose Mourinho's and Ferguson's. And as a Man United fan, I can admit that. Make football where it's positional, everyone's passing it around, possession. Sometimes he tinkers, he might move this, he might move that, he does this, he does that. He's even sometimes talking to nobody, he's talking to himself. Have you ever wondered, where did it all begin? I'm gonna take you through it.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
Pep Guardiola, the mad tactics, the innovative formations, the crazy behavior on the touchline. Where did he get all this from?
Tiki-taka, that's something like this. That's how he puts the ball, but as quick as possible. It was something that people laughed about until it had the results, and people enjoyed it, and people loved it, and now it's a fantastic word.
Johan Cruyff's name is not only synonymous with Barcelona, he is arguably the most influential football figure of all time. And he had a major impact on Pep Guardiola's life.
Until arrived Johan Cruyff and said, okay, from now on we are going to play in that way. He was the boss, yeah, of course.
When Johan Cruyff left, Bobby Robson became the manager of Barcelona. And do you know who he had as his translator? Only one, Jose Mourinho.
Wait, what?
So yes, once upon a time, Jose Mourinho and Pep were actually friends.
Sometimes what it looks is exactly the opposite.
Johan Cruyff is credited with being the innovator of tiki-taka. Pep Guardiola has taken that to another level. But where did it begin for Pep? In 2007-08, he was the Barcelona B manager. Rijkaard was gone. Rijkaard got sacked. It was between two men for the job. Pep and Jose Mourinho. Now that's where things got a bit rocky.
And there's the bell for round one.
Pep Guardiola eventually got the job. They cited he's got the Barcelona DNA. He can follow and bring a new identity to the club through Cruyff's influence. He got the job much to the dismay of Jose.
Mine and my coaching staff methods are second to nobody in the world.
The first thing Pep did, he grabbed Lionel Messi and he put Messi into the false nine position. Now, I'm not one to say that Pep Guardiola made Messi, but what he did is maximize his ability. In his first season with Messi frontlining, Pep won every single trophy, 6, the sextuple.
You know, I know they won obviously 5 trophies or whatever in your first season, but I mean, six, sorry. Apologise, yeah.
Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, Dani Alves, I can go on and on. That's the best team I've ever seen. But it wasn't all rosy for Pep. Jose Mourinho came to Spain.
It's what it is. So sometimes you want to kill him.
There is the talk that Jose Mourinho ran him out of Spain. I'm here to say that's not true. And I love Jose Mourinho, but that's not true. Pep Guardiola dominated in Spain while Jose Mourinho was there. I mean, Pep left on his own accord. Pep won everything with Barcelona, and in doing so, he revolutionized European football. 247 games, 179 wins, outstanding. At this point, the world is at his feet and everyone eagerly awaits to know the destination of his next challenge. Manchester United, City have made contact, and he chose Bayern Munich, much to the disappointment of football fans. They have just come off the treble, so the expectation was, let's do it again. Let's go win more trebles. But 3 consecutive years in a row, Bayern Munich lost in the semi-final of the Champions League. So people now created the narrative. Can he do it without Messi? But Pep always has a plan. Midway through his final season at Bayern Munich, Pep announced he will be the next Manchester City manager. Some people might say Man City, easy job as well. But they had not won the title for 2 years before Pep came. And also in the first season, they didn't win the league. Man City that season won a grand total of 0 trophies. But the next season, we weren't laughing anymore. After a season of refoundation, Pep develops an almost invincible team. He dominates the Premier League by smashing record after record for 2 years in a row.
He's done the Centurions. He's broke record after record after record.
I destroyed football, and you destroyed the Premier League. And you destroyed the Premier League this season.
He proved wrong those who believe that his idea of football does not fit the Premier League. But the domestic success does not match the European one, where for 3 consecutive years, he loses against inferior sides. Pep's tactics got heavily criticised in those games, over-tinkering. And for me, I agree. Now let's fast forward to the 1920 season. City get knocked out of the Champions League again, this time by Lyon. This season led to more doubt because his rival Jurgen Klopp, with far less money spent, has won the Champions League now. He's won the Premier League. In 5 years at Manchester City, Pep has spent over 800 million at the club. That's where it came from. Checkbook manager. He can't do it without money. Klopp is better than him. He's just taking a stacked team.
Guardiola is a checkbook manager. It's unarguable.
The numbers win it.
But finally, Manchester City get to the Champions League final, all-English final, against Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, an inferior side. Finally, Man City come in Europe. They finally got the award. They're finally going to do it. Pep has answered all claims. He starts Ilkay Gundogan defensive midfield in the final. Gundogan was the top goal scorer for Manchester City that season. And see, this is what I mean. Over-tinkering. If we're going on paper, if we're going on how the season was panning out, it should have been all Man City. And the question lies again. Can he do it without Lionel Messi? No. European success does not determine if Pep has succeeded. If anything, he's becoming a victim of his own success. I mean, if you can get 100 points, 98 points, 4 titles in 5 years, dominate and still be deemed a failure because you didn't bring the Champions League? And let's not only just talk about the success. Is it a coincidence that when Pep Guardiola was in Spain, Spain won the World Cup and the Euros, Germany won the World Cup in 2014? Is it a coincidence that in 2018, England got to the furthest they've ever been in the World Cup with many Manchester City players and adopting Manchester City's style of play? Gareth Southgate has said it himself. He thanks him for what he's done in this country, the influence that he's had on his England team. From the training to the small-sided games to what happens on the pitch, he appreciates the work that Pep has done in England. And of course, Gareth Southgate isn't alone. You cannot judge the greatness of a manager on the basis of a competition that requires a fair amount of luck. And if you don't believe me, you can believe Philipp Lahm, a world champion. He himself says, to win the Champions League, you need luck. In an article and a tribute to his former coach, he says, Guardiola's football is unmistakable. You don't get all of this by accident. All of this is only achieved by working hard every day.
Because we've got Guardiola.
And if there's still doubt, just take a look at his trophy cabinet. I mean, Pep, how many trophies did you win?
More than you believe. More than you believe.
So the debate is there. I'm not going to put it away from anyone. The debate is there. So how do you guys feel? Is Pep Guardiola the greatest manager ever? Do you care that he spent a ridiculous amount of money? Do you just look at the influence? Do you look at the way he plays? What do you guys measure as greatness?